Manager making teen payback drawer shortage. So my 15-yo has a fast food manager that's charging for drawer shortages. Not only does it seem he isn't having employees count the drawer at the end of shift, so he knows before you do, but he's requiring them to come in on an off day to pay him in cash or Cash App. Does anyone in Michigan have any information or my next possible steps towards a claim or grounds for lawyer, court? Sounds like someone is skimming the till and making the employees pay for it. You should also get the employee handbook and find out if it's company policy for employees to repay shortages. I never worked fast food, but I worked plenty of retail and have never heard of employees paying back drawer shortages. But my initial feeling is something shady is happening. Not a lawyer, but I believe this would be grounds for legal action. There's no way any lawyer would think having an employee come in on a day off and pay in cash or Cash App is legal. Reach out to an attorney. Get the manager's words in email or text. And don't give the manager any money. Call in sick if you have to. The manager is not only not following procedure of counting cash at the end of every shift, but also expecting random employees to cover a perceived shortage out of their own pockets, brining their net pay to less than minimum wage, which is a big issue, and putting that money into his own pockets. These fast food places don't have official Cash App channels, so that's definitely going into his own pocket, and there's no way he's taking proper record of who is giving him cash. You should be on the phone with an attorney first thing tomorrow morning. You'll want to get the jump on this as soon as possible. https://employmentlaw.handbook.com/employmentonlaborlaws/states/michigan/wage payment/ deductions from wages. An employee must consent in writing each time an employer makes a deduction from his or her wages, if the deduction is for the benefit of the employer. These type of deductions include cash shortages, breakage, damage, or loss of the employer's property, required uniforms, required tools, other items necessary for employment. Although an employer can deduct the above-listed item with the written consent of an employee, the employer cannot coerce or threaten the employee with discharge to obtain the written consent. An employer cannot withhold or deduct wages from an employee's paycheck unless required or permitted to do so by law, required or permitted by a collective bargaining agreement, or the employee has consented in writing, without coercion, to the deduction. This is illegal. Wage theft should be a crime. If I steal from the till, that's theft. Yet if the employer steals from the pay packet, that's supposedly a civil matter and not criminal. Some jurisdictions, in particular in Australia, are moving to make wage theft a crime like other forms of theft. Join your union. Encourage your child to join their union, and ask your union what they are doing about wage theft. Yeah, contact the National Labor Relations Board. What the manager is doing is illegal. The manager has a boss, contact that person. In Michigan, that's illegal. You can't be made to make up a drawer shortage, minor or not. Public Act 390 of 1978, in Section 7(1), states, quote, "An employer shall not deduct from the wages of an employee, directly or indirectly, any amount, without the full, free, and written consent of the employee, obtained without intimidation or fear of discharge for refusal to permit the deduction." Michigan.gov link. Tell your kid to refuse to go in or pay, since the manager is counting and somehow can calculate the short. This screams illegal AF. Unless the cashier counted their drawer before their shift, was the only person who accessed the drawer and counted the drawer immediately after their shift, The manager can't prove that the shortage is the cashier's fault. That is illegal. I would contact a lawyer for a free consultation and see if there is anything to be done to get lost money back. Whether employees must reimburse the business for drawer shortages is up to state law, but doing so must never drop the employee below minimum wage. However, this method for correcting the drawers is hinky and illegal. He's apparently not keeping records of how much each employee is required to pay back, so there's no way to know if they're dipping below minimum wage. This is a violation of the record-keeping section of the Fair Labor Standards Act. https www.dal.gov/agencies/whd/factsheets/21 FLSA record-keeping. Look at number 12. If the employees are required to come in to true up the drawer, they have to be paid for the time to do that. Seems like a violation of the hours worked and record-keeping sections of the FLSA. File a complaint of wage theft via violations of the hours worked and record-keeping sections of the FLSA to your local branch of the Department of Labor. Wage and Hour Division. https www.dal.gov/agencies/whd/contact/localoffices. The proof is any texts about the issue and the records of Cash App transfers to the manager. It's free for you to make a complaint, and if they choose to investigate, that will also be free because the DAL is part of the government and paid through taxes. Be sure to mention in your complaint that your child is a minor. If any of the other employees file complaints, it might encourage the DAL to take swift action. So, this guy is the only one counting the drawers, and then just announcing that someone owes money, and then having them pay him directly at weird times? Yeah, he's totally stealing. This happened to me when I was working a minimum wage job at a gas station years back. If your drawer was short, they would cash your paycheck at the store and take any shortages out from it. Apparently they had been doing it to employees for years, but the second time they tried it on me for being like $2 short. I told the manager I didn't think it was legal for them to take money from my check and I would follow up with my lawyer. They never attempted to do it again, which is good because I didn't have a lawyer. LMAO. He's scamming your kid, go to the cops. No employer, not even a fast food company, would make you pay the money in Cash App. They would just fire you if you came up short. Try to get the manager to write down what he wants your teen to do. Screenshot those WhatsApp messages. Get proof if you can before contacting any labor boards. Contact the State Board of Labor. If he's doing it to your kid, he's doing it to everyone. Lawyer here. As others have pointed out, this is a straightforward case of illegal wage theft. Seek out a local attorney that focuses on labor and employment law for a free consultation. They'll likely want your child there as well, since your child, not you, has the claim and would be the client. Do not go to the National Labor Relations Board. The NLRB handles matters relating to unions and is not relevant here. My understanding is it must be one person only in the till. They count when receiving. If change is needed, the employee hands the manager the money and the manager hands the employee the change, so the employee can verify correct amount is given, and the employee is present when the drawer is counted at the end of the shift. If even one of these is not met, the employee cannot be held responsible for any overages, shortages, as other people were in the till. Making an employee pay for shortages is a state law, so look into it and make sure all of the above is happening. Even then, making the employee come into the store outside of paid hours is illegal.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.